Hello, I'm Amanda Gordon. I'm a clinical psychologist and I specialize in working with families. And at this time, I'd like to talk to you about children and anxiety. We know that this is a very anxiety-provoking time. Life has changed immensely for all of us, and our children are picking up on it. Even the very young ones know that there's something strange going on, especially if their contact with their normal family members has been reduced or if school has come out a little earlier than usual for this term. So let's think about what's going on and how we can best support them. The first thing I want to say is children pick up on our anxiety. If we're anxious, if we're stressed, if we don't know what's going on, our children will know. And they'll be anxious. But it's harder for children because they don't even necessarily understand what we're anxious about. Be aware that your children are picking up on lots of things that are going on around the place, especially if you've got the media on a lot, TV, you're listening to the news, you've got the radio on. They're going to be hearing words and hearing phrases and seeing anxious responses from them. They're going to be overhearing dinner table conversation or half your phone call that you're having with your friend or your sister, and they're going to not understand what's going on. So be aware of your own behavior, of what you're saying before you do these things in front of your kids. So that's the first thing. If you're feeling really anxious, it's going to be very hard for you to calm your children. So self-care is the most important thing. Do look after yourself and do it in the best ways that you know how. That includes doing as much exercise as you are sensibly able to do. While the weather is fine, go out, go for a walk while you're allowed, or a run, or whatever is good for you. Talk to friends, connect with family, eat well, try and have a regular sleep time, and reduce the amount of alcohol and caffeine that is surging around in that body of yours, especially when you're at home. Chocolate, of course, is its own food group, and think very seriously about that. So quelling your own anxiety is a very important thing to do, and if you can't do it on your own, before we even worry about the children, let's ensure that you get the help that you need. But now I'm going to assume that you have a reasonable approach to what's going on in the world, and although you're feeling stressed and you're feeling life is difficult, you're on top of it. You know you'll get through, as we know that most of us will get through, and come perhaps to a gentler, kinder world, which is a rather nice thing. So now what do we do about our anxious kids? Well, the first thing to do is to remember that your kids are just your kids, and they need hugs and cuddles and normal affection and lots of reassurance that they're going to be all right. So when it's true, let them know that everyone in your immediate surrounds is well, and the whole idea of everything that's going on is to keep all of you well. If it's not true that everyone's well, then be honest, don't pretend, but let them know that everything is being done for the well-being of the loved ones around you. That's number one. Number two is think about the fact that this all feels so uncontrollable. There's this big virus that's attacking us. What do? Well, just remember that there are some things we can control, and when children are given guidance as to behaviors that they can control, where they can make life good for themselves, then they'll want to comply with that. So in a very age-appropriate way, teach them about hand washing, remind them about hand washing, remind them about being physically distant, even from the ones they love, about waving to their friends rather than getting close to them, about using social media appropriately to connect and confirm their relationships with others, and to have a reasonable schedule in their day that will make them feel confident that life is moving on and that there are good things happening in the world. If you do those things for your kids, you're going to feel less anxious, and your reduced anxiety will make your children behave better, and life will be much more fun at home. I wish well in this difficult time, and I'll talk to you again soon.